Hi everyone, Ravid from Paldi Solutions here. In this video I'm going to show you briefly how to operate the informative gauge widget. This is a demo dashboard. It's still work in progress, so it's not finalized yet. I just wanted to stop our effort to show you how to operate it. So a few words about the informative gauge. It acts like sort of a bucket for up to 4 gauges. So in this widget you have 4 instances of 4 different gauges. This is 1, this is 2, 3, and 4. And you can have up to 4 because that's pretty much the maximal amount of gauges that you can plot within one row. But you can decide how many of those you want within a widget. So let's go into the edit mode and see how to operate it. So first off, you can see that there are many panels because there are many numbers here. So let me start off with focusing on only one instance. So I'll remove all the rest of the panels, and you can see that all the rest of the gauges got disappeared as they don't exist anymore. So this is the main gauge, and let's just put some more decent samples. So let's put this one as 1,000 and change this to be $1. And let's set the goal as well to be, let's say, 1,500, and set this one to dollars as well. And you know what, let's do the previous year to be, I don't know, 2,000, 1,200. It doesn't really matter. We don't use that for too many calculations, but just for the sake of this demo. So now I will put the max value to 2,000 just to have something clear. Okay, so now I can start explaining on the different components of each instance. So each instance has main KPI that defines by this panel, goal KPI which defines by this panel, and secondary KPI that is defined by this panel. You can, as you can see, you can change their formatting as they're independent by their formatting, and we will be releasing a new version that will detach the dependency between the goal and the main KPI. So if you'd like to simply plot numbers without presenting them as a gauge, then that would be available as well in the upcoming releases. Other than that, in the design panel you have for each instance, you have several controllers that you can tweak around. So you can control the main KPI title, which what's shown in here, the goal title, which was shown in here, and the secondary KPI title, which is shown in here. Other than that, we have conditional coloring. So if you notice, let's talk a little bit about the gauge to better understand the conditional coloring. So what we do is we always start our range from 0 and we continue it until the max value option, until the number that is in the max value. So if I'll change it to 4,000, you'll notice that my gauge will get longer. The black line is plotted where the goal is at, and the bar is being fulfilled according to the main KPI. So in this case, if let's put it 3,000, or I think 2,000 was better. So if this is a total of 2,000, our goal is here at 1,500, and our current state is here at 1,000. And the conditional coloring works according to this logic. So this is the color that will be plotted when you are above the goal, and this is the color that will be plotted when you are below the goal. So let's, for example, when we are below the goal, we can tweak it to be purple. Or let's see how this works when we are above the goal. So let's change the main KPI value to be 1,600. And when it's 1,600, it will be plotted to be above the goal, and the color will be different. So those are the main key features. We have another small feature with it that's called duration. So if you notice in the measure, you can set it up to be a measure. And when you're doing it as a measure, the plugin expects to get a number of seconds. So at the moment it treats that 1,600 as number of seconds, and it plots them as seconds and minutes. And we have a plan to also add an option to ditch the seconds and to focus only on minutes and hours. This also will be released soon. And the goal in past here, so when you're in duration mode, all the values will be treated as duration, as this would make this instance to be about duration of calls, for example, or deliveries, or any other duration that you'd like to plot. So you don't need the time, you only need to calculate the number of seconds. This is the styling options that you have for one instance. The more you add, so let's add a few more. So let's put 2000 in here. Let's add a goal of, I don't know, 1800, and secondary KPI of, I don't know, let's put some percents in here. And let's style it as percents. And now it is percents. I have my goal here. I have my 2000 in here. Notice that my bar is still not fixed because the default value is percents. So I will go to instance 2 and I'll change the max value to something like 2500. And now my gauge looks better. So this is how you add more instances. The second that you add their panels, they will show. If I don't show, for example, the secondary, then it will simply won't plot. I'll remove that one from the second one as well. Notice that this one got disappeared as well. If you won't use a goal KPI, then it will simply show the number with an empty gauge and things like that. So you can really play around with it according to your specific case and plot it the way you want to. Other than that, we have some global design parameters, and we're very open for feedbacks to add more. So in general, because it's a fixed amount of numbers and Sisense is doing dynamic width, so it's important to set up a minimum value and maximum value for your instances. And this is mainly depends on the amount of instances that you have. Like if you have 2 and you want it full width, so I would put max width a little larger and put more spacing between them. So for example, if I'll put 100 pixel spacing between them, it looks like the maximum is 50 in this version. This is something that can be controlled. So if you'll do fewer of those, oh, I know what's happening. Right now I'm in full screen, so you see the max instance width here. So the spacing doesn't take into consideration when we do that. But in general, you can control the spacing and you can control the minimum width and the maximum width because it's determined pretty much automatically based on the width that the widget has at the moment it's in full width. And this is pretty much it. We are very keen to do further improvements for this plugin, so please feel free to share your feedbacks and we'll address them as soon as we can. Cheers.